guys, it's Vicky. So this video, as you can see by the title, is all about my first NQT interview. So today is the 2nd of February, I think. It could be the 3rd. It's something like that. I have just received an email saying that I have an interview for my first NQT role. So I've been shortlisted. I applied for this role about a week and a half ago. I've applied for some other roles so far that I haven't got interviews for, I've been rejected for, and I have 2 more applications that I'm looking at doing at the moment, that I haven't quite finished yet. Yeah, but in this video I'm going to run through all the prep that I'm going to do for my interview. Literally anything that I'm doing related to the interview I'm going to film, and then try and put it together in some sort of coherent video that can potentially help anyone else who's doing an interview. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Obviously I'm so excited to have received this email saying I've been shortlisted. You know, it in no way means that I've got the role, but the experience in the interview will be invaluable, so I'm really excited. Okay, so the first thing that I did when I got my invitation to interview was reply to the email. You know, I'm really grateful to have received the invitation and I'm confirming my attendance. And they said that they'll send me more details close to the time. And the next thing that I've done is I've texted all of my teacher friends. So teachers that I know because I worked with them last year, anyone that I know that's ever interviewed for a teaching role, or anyone that's been the interviewer for a teaching role, anyone that can give me some insight about what the questions might be, any curveballs that they've been thrown or have thrown in an interview, and things like that. So I've also asked on social media. I have my @MissGreenTeach Instagram and Twitter. I'm asking for some advice on, so yeah, I'm just trying to get together as much information as I possibly can about NQT interviews, and then I'll use that to my advantage when I've got it all together. I'll share all the pieces of advice that I get later in this video. Hey, so I'm back. I've just noticed that chew sensations are my favourite study snack, okay? They're the bomb. Okay, fave crisps, anyway. So yesterday I didn't have any lectures, and I actually did quite a lot of research on the school that I'm having my interview at. So obviously, you know, research for your interview is really important. I read all of their policy documents, I went through their prospectuses, just everything on the website, all the information I could get about extracurriculars, the background of the school, literally anything I could get. And this is how I normally research schools. So I'm going to show you a bit. This is like half of my mind map. This is like what I do when I'm researching. So I've got like the ethos at the top, pastoral care, and then like their behaviour policy. The reason I'm not showing the whole thing is because the school name's on there, and just in case I decide to take a job there, if I actually manage to get offered a job, then yeah, I wouldn't want that out there. But that is how I like research my school, and I find it really helpful, just to like do it quite early and make notes on all of the things that, you know, I feel like I should know about the school for the interview. And then hopefully I'll like weave some details into my interview answers, because yeah, that would just make me look good, right? And that's what we're trying to do in an interview. Yeah, so I did all that yesterday, and I actually found another school that I'm interested in and did an application for them. Today I have 3 full lectures, so I don't think I'm going to get lots of time to do any research, but I do need to go through the year 3, 4 and 5 curriculum, because I have a curriculum interview as well. So yeah, I'll probably do that the same kind of way as I've researched the school. Like I'll make it like a little mind map for year 3, 4 and 5, one for each year, and like go through all the subjects and just brush up on my knowledge. Okay, so I've just realised that I didn't go through like what's going to happen on the interview day, so I'll go through that now quickly. let's just address the elephant. I know I look a mess, right? I'm still in my pyjamas, basically. Full day of online lectures, not getting ready, you know, literally sitting with my camera off all day, so just happened to be filming this and putting this out on the internet, but that's fine. Who cares? Okay, so what the day is going to be like, they've told me that I need to arrive at main reception at 8:15. So I'm actually travelling down to the school the night before and staying in a hotel. COVID compliant, okay, don't come at me. This is for a job interview and it is okay for me to be travelling there. So first thing I have in the morning is a COVID test. So they've left like, you know, 20 minutes for that. And then I have an interview at 9 AM with the headmaster and the deputy head. 9:55, I have a tour of the school. So that's a like 50-minute interview. Wow. And then a break at 10:45. So the tour of the school's, yeah, like almost an hour. 11:20, I have curriculum interview with the head of lower prep and head of junior science. So that's why I'm really brushing up on my curriculum knowledge, and because I've been out the classroom for a little while, obviously, doing lectures. 11:50 lunch, and then 12:30 I have a pupil panel. Oh my gosh, now this is kind of worrying me a bit, because I remember in secondary school doing pupil panels for like new members of staff, and you can basically, well in my school anyway, you could ask them whatever question you wanted. And you know, I'd come up with questions like, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be? And stuff like that. And I'd just watch the teacher sweat and it would be really funny. And well, that's karma and it's come back to me and I'm really stressing about this pupil panel now. I'm sure it'll be fine. But wow, what goes around comes around, guys. And then at 1:15 I have to teach a PSHE lesson. So that's a 40-minute long lesson, and at the end of that I'm finished. So I find it a bit weird that I don't have any kind of interview or conversation after my PSHE lesson, because I was kind of hoping that they'd allow me to like evaluate my lesson in front of them and see that I'm really a reflective practitioner, and yeah, that I know where things went wrong and what I'd improve next time. But anyway, that's how it's going. I am still working on my lesson plan. I'm just starting to put together a PowerPoint. My teacher friends have been so amazing at responding to my texts, giving me ideas for lessons, and even my class teacher mentor at the school I'm meant to be at right now, and the one I'm going back to after February half term, has given me some resources and some ideas for lessons, and an old teacher of mine's offered to do a online like mock interview. So yeah. I really need to get this lesson plan done at some point, and you know, finish off the PowerPoint and curriculum. So that's what's on the books for the weekend, but I'll check in with you when I do some more work. Actually, something that I want to share from my research yesterday, right? My life is full of the weirdest coincidences, I swear, like this happens all the time. But the school that I worked in last year as a TA and a house mistress was based in the building that this school is in until World War II, when the military decided they wanted to use the building. Like, what kind of coincidence is that? Like, it says on their history on their website, like that is like a point for like why you should research your school. Obviously, like that's something that I'll probably bring up at some point. Like, this is the weirdest thing, you know, like that will be something that I'll have that other candidates probably won't or won't, and so make me stand out a little bit, just something a bit different. But what kind of coincidence is that? I was just so shocked when I read it. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So yeah, thought I'd share. Hey guys, so it's the next day. I've actually spent the morning filming, editing and uploading the last YouTube video, which will be on my channel, which is my teacher outfits. If you haven't checked that out, then go have a look. Today I am going over research that I've done on the school that I'm interviewing at. I'm also going to continue looking at the curriculum for year 3, 4 and 5, and just brushing up, making sure that, you know, I have a really good understanding of it. And then later on today I actually have a Zoom call with my old A-level geography teacher, and she's going to do a bit of a mock interview with me. So yeah, really lucky to have her. Check in with you later. Right, So I can't remember if I filmed anything yesterday, but I did have a brilliant mock interview with my old A-level geography teacher, which was so nice. It was just nice to catch up with her, but she used all of her interview questions when she was interviewing. So I, went through all my answers and then got a load of feedback, which was really nice. So I'm looking at the window because it actually started snowing. I don't know if you can see. It's snowing, not too much, but I've woken up and our heating's not working, so that's great. Yeah, so today I'm going to hopefully finish going through the curriculum for year 3, 4 and 5. And yeah, I'll see where I'm at after I've done that. So I'm still going over the curriculum at the moment, and this is the way that I've done that in case anyone's interested. So I've got year 3 here, and in some of the subjects year 3, 4 and 5 are the same, or they all come under the same block and they just improve on it each time. So this has got quite a few years on it just because it's the start of them. So the only subject that I haven't touched on at all so far is science. However, I've been teaching year 5 science in my last placement, so I'm familiar with the year 5 curriculum. I just need to go over year 3 and year 4. But I'm thinking I'm going to take a break for the rest of the afternoon because I spent all of Saturday working and now it's Sunday and I just don't want to be burnt out going into the week because I have full lectures until I have to leave for my interview. So yeah, that's how I'm reviewing the curriculum. And I thought I'd have a quick chat now about some interview questions that I have been told to prepare for. These are from some people that have already had some NQT interviews and from my geography A-level teacher who did a mock interview with me last night. So the questions that my geography A-level teacher asked me, the questions that she asked when she was hiring, and they were to describe a highlight of your teaching. So I went in and spoke about a series of free science lessons that went really well, and yeah. And then describe an innovative lesson that you have carried out or that you have observed, why you want to be a teacher, how you keep up to date with all things education, how you deal with a badly behaved student, how you encourage independent learning in your lessons, how you monitor progress of your students, how you incorporate technology into your lessons, how you use a teaching assistant effectively. And she said there'd likely be a question related to my application as well, but she didn't have a copy of that, so obviously didn't ask those. Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting insight to see what she would ask. She said that she would potentially ask, if she was interviewing in geography, a book that they would use to bring into their lessons, or their favourite book related to the subject. So I kind of had a book in mind as well that I would bring up. And then obviously there'd be a question on safeguarding and some other questions that I've heard of that she didn't ask, but other NQTs have told me about. A time when you've had to think on your feet, which is interesting. Where I want to be in 5 years. What particularly interested me about the school that you're at interviewing for. What else can you bring to the school? Describe a poor lesson you taught, what went wrong, and what did you learn? How do you differentiate in a lesson? And a time that you motivated a reluctant learner. So they're all interesting and things that I'm definitely going to continue thinking about. So grateful to my geography teacher for going through all of those with me and giving me some feedback on my answers. Yeah, so they're all things that I'm going to continue to think about. I'm going to keep working on the curriculum tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to round this video off just yet. I'll see what happens and talk to you in a bit. Hey, okay, so I am back, and I thought that to round off this video I will go through some pieces of advice that I have been given for my NQT interview. So you can find all of the advice I've been given at Miss Green Teach, my Twitter profile. So I've just put out a little tweet saying I'm really excited to have been shortlisted for my first interview, and anyone have any advice? And it blew up a bit. It's got like almost 450 likes and a load of replies with pieces of advice. So I'm just going to pick out some of my favourite ones and share those with you here. So someone has said, always consider an interview as you interviewing the school as well, to see if it's the right fit for you. One of my favourite questions to ask at the end is, what's great about working here? This approach also helps calm my nerves too. So that's something that I think is really, really important. And actually my top tip from another video that I uploaded, was about how, you've got to find the right school for you. It's not just about them needing you. It's not just about you needing them, it's about them needing you as well. So I think that's something really important. Someone recommended to demonstrate that I know about the school by looking on their website, their vision and values, and being passionate and showing that I love teaching. Also to keep my responses focused. So there's been a couple that have said just don't waffle, and that's definitely something that I'm prone to doing. So a good piece of advice, and I've actually practiced my interview questions and some interview questions that I hope will potentially come up, and worked on like keeping them quite succinct and to the point. So hopefully that will help. Someone else has said try to cite examples from your own experience. If it's something you have not yet done, then stress how you would tackle a new project using existing skills, and don't be afraid to say you'd ask more experienced colleagues for help and advice. I think that's a really good tip as well. Obviously going into your NQT year, you don't want to be isolated on your own. You need to reach out for help if you need it, and that's definitely something that I plan on doing. Someone said if you're stuck on a complex question, then ask, can I take a moment to think about that? They've said that you'll probably only take a short amount of time, and it will probably really help you to frame your answer and not waffle. So I think, that's a good piece of advice as well. Make sure you've done your homework on the school. Safeguarding will always come up, and behaviour management, and think about any challenges you've overcome because they come up quite a lot. Obviously for safeguarding and behaviour management, I've looked at their school policies, so I will be referencing them quite a lot. Someone else gave a piece of advice that I think is just really lovely. Be yourself and sell yourself. Don't be shy about sharing your strengths, interests and aspirations. I think that's just a really nice, succinct piece of advice that I would like to follow. Obviously it's so different when you get into like the interview room and you're sitting there faced with these people that are judging you, but all of these pieces of advice are things that I hope to follow. So someone else has actually mentioned to me that you need to remember that the whole day is an interview. So as much as the interview is an interview, I actually have 2 interviews, and pupil panel, the tour of the school is also an interview, and how you spend your lunch, whether you're talking to the students, etc. The whole thing is an interview. Meeting the receptionist, everything is an interview. So, without the pressure, you need to think about the entire day and how you're acting the entire time. Another one says don't be afraid to address your gaps in knowledge or experience, but show where you've addressed these in the past and how you would go about addressing these in the future. So obviously this is really important as going into my NQT year, because I'm not the most experienced, especially with having this training year during a pandemic. I'm not going to go into it as experienced as I possibly could be, you need to demonstrate that you can use that you have in the past improved upon your gaps in your knowledge and the things that you've learned, and just demonstrate how you would do that in the future. I think also not being afraid to ask them to repeat the question. If I need some extra clarification, that's definitely something that I will do. And then there's other really nice ones like, smile, be warm, be positive, and all of those that I will look to. Okay, so I am actually leaving to go down to near the school tomorrow afternoon, and I'll be staying in a hotel overnight because it's about 3 hours away from where I live. I need to be there really early in the morning. So I'm nervous but excited. I hope this video has been of help to some people. This is just how I prepared. I'm sure there's lots of other ways to do it, but I thought it might be helpful to someone. If it's helped, or if you have any questions or comments, then feel free to leave them down below. or you can tweet me at Miss Green Teach or send me a message on my Instagram at Miss Green Teach. I really love to hear from all of you. Yeah, so my next video will be me going to the interview. So I can't believe I've even got an interview in the first place, to be honest. Yeah. Well, wish me luck. Talk to you later. Bye.